off the newscast that Attorney General Liz Murrill had wrapped up a tour of the Orleans Parish Jail where that jailbreak happened Friday. She's been speaking outside on the steps ever since. We want to listen in now.
And stable, I think, in terms of its day-to-day operations. I think there's still a lot of things that we need to do.
Are there any inmates still on that first floor? And if there are, what are the charges they're facing generally?
So I don't know. I mean, I don't have...
Did you tour the areas?
I walked around. There are inmates on the first floor. I can answer that question affirmatively. I don't know who they are or why they're here.
Do you have any indication? Has moved any of those inmates that would be considered needing to be under more maximum security to a higher floor?
I mean, I assume that they. I mean, and I don't assume it. I know that they told me that they have a they have a management system for managing high-risk inmates. That's part of their population management protocols.
You don't know if there's any of those high-risk individuals like those that escaped on Friday still on that first floor?
I have no individual knowledge of it. I certainly didn't see anybody. I mean, that whole area where the escape occurred there's nobody there that I saw today. It's a different area.
Do you feel like they learned from this and are working well to make sure this doesn't happen again?
Yeah, I do. I mean, has everything changed? Yes and no. I mean, everything has changed in the sense that, we had a very significant escape from this facility. And, in my view, that means everything has changed. And that means everybody needs to change their attitude and their approach to whatever the status quo was before that. At the same time, you still have operations, you still have day-to-day staffing, you still have a lot of protocols and things that are in place. You still have a consent decree that requires very specific conduct and things in this facility. None of that's changed, So, I mean, while everything has changed, in some ways, nothing's changed. I do think that, they've certainly are very, very closely paying attention to operations here with their existing population.
Some people who know this jail, some people who know this facility have said that this was only a matter of time. Do you feel that way?
I think that, yeah, I mean, I think there were some conditions in play that certainly contributed to making it conducive to what happening.
We've talked a lot about staffing shortages. Whenever you were in there, did you notice shortages? Do they have any extra guards on duty, just given what happened?
That's a really impossible question to answer, because you're never in all places at all time. Like I would actually have to sit there and look at not just today, but a week, a month, 6 months, and weekends, and everything else. I mean, there's a lot of things that kind of would play into my opinion about that. I just probably can't say.
Is the jail making the proper rounds based on the consent decree and the mandate every 30 minutes?
I mean, I don't know. You'd have to ask the monitor and look at the reports that they issue. I mean, I've looked at some of those. I know they've done some audits of that and found non-compliance on some of that, but I'm not drilled down on that piece of it yet on what the historical compliance is. I'm sure they can tell you.
When you toured, did you see any deputies making rounds, cell checks, things like that?
Well, there were deputies on the pods. I mean, they're present, they're there. Whether that was true last week, I couldn't tell you. I don't know. I wasn't here.
But they were there today.
They were there today.
Have you spoken with the sheriff about how many were, when it happened?
A lot of people are we're all involved in evaluating what was going on when it happened, and so to the extent that it's part of my open investigation, I'm not going to speak to that.
With so many investigations you're investigating, comes Moreno wants an investigation, the sheriff says she's doing an investigation, how will y'all all come together?
Well, the sheriff's the sheriff's will be and can be concurrent in the sense that she can do administratively what she needs to do administratively. I have a criminal investigation that's underway. I may have conclusions, observations, and recommendations that don't relate to criminal prosecutions. It's based solely on the things that I've seen and the people that I've talked to in the process. But my objective is to conclude that part of the investigation and then hand it off to other people who may have other roles in this process. Certainly the city council will, and there's other people that will. I mean, you may end up with legislative hearings and people like that. There's going to be a lot of interest in continuing to dissect what happened, who, what, when, how, where, why. All of those questions will continue to be evaluated, not just by me, but by other people who have decision-making authority.
Did you try to crawl through that hole
No, it's blocked off now.
So that pod is repaired now. So the toilet is fixed, the cell door is fixed.
No, the whole place, the whole area is not being used right now.
Obviously, back to what you were saying about people are.
Sorry, what were the repairs with the welders who came? What did they?
I don't think that I should speak to that. I mean, they have secured the area, and it is a crime scene. So, they have secured the area, and I think that's the most important thing. I mean, obviously that's what needed to be done immediately.
Just going back to what you were saying about.
And I have one more question, then I have to leave to go to Baton Rouge.
People are feeling edgy. You said that.
Yeah.
And I just wonder, what's your message for them? Like, I know we've been talking about it. There are a lot of people who are not feeling safe this morning, or this afternoon, or this evening. What do you tell them?
I tell them to be alert. I think that, we still have 5 escaped inmates who we presume to be armed and dangerous. So I think that everyone should continue to stay alert. If you see something, you should say something. You should absolutely not provide any material assistance to these individuals, because we will figure that out, we will prosecute you. So, I think that the best thing that anybody can do, if they see something, they should report it so that we can get these people back in custody as soon as possible. And if anybody is, has a particular involvement with one of these individuals and is uncomfortable or fearful, they should reach out to the district attorney's office, to their victim witness coordinator. I will have a point of contact in my office who they can also could also reach out to. But and I think the police department has a victim witness coordinator, and they could reach out to them. But I know that those resources already were urging any individual who is uncomfortable to make sure that they let them know so they could help them.
Do you have a comment on the arrest of State Representative Carl?
No, I didn't even. When did that happen?
2:41.
Yeah, I've been inside.
Estimated just the resources that are being put into this. I mean, statewide resources, a lot of money. Talk about just the amount of dollar amount it's taking to capture these inmates and the resources statewide that it's taking.
I don't know exactly how much money, but I can tell you it's a lot. I mean, there are a lot of resources that are engaged right now, and what I would say is we should invest on the front end instead of having to expend these resources on the back end. If we can make sure that they get the right locks and hinges on their doors, that's a big deal. Like, that saves us a lot of money on the back end. So, I mean, I think that we shouldn't be kind of, what do they say, a penny wise and a pound foolish? Like, let's invest in what we need to invest to harden this facility for the reality of the population that is managed here. To me, that's kind of an absolute objective for all of us.
I just think it's a lot of overtime. And
it is. There's no doubt it's a lot of money. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
See y'all.
Thank you for your generosity.
Thank you so much.
Catherine. All right, so we just heard from Attorney General Liz Murrill, who really talked about in depth of what she saw here earlier today as she toured the Orleans Justice Center. She did say that this facility does need many upgrades. She said she saw a lot of cell doors that needed upgrades, and there are a lot of serious violent offenders here at this facility as well. She talked about the process of moving these sentences along, moving the legal process along to get these inmates in state penitentiaries. Now, District Attorney Jason Williams also spoke earlier today. He did not go into depth. He just really said that they're surveying the scene, they're checking out a crime scene, but we do want to listen to the two of them about what they saw here at this facility today.
We toured the facility, the AG and myself. We were able to ask some questions and actually see up close and personal the space, the surrounding space, and the fence where the escape was made. Whether it's a murder case, a rape case, or a jailbreak, prosecutors always need to take a look at the crime scene.
There's a lot of things that need to happen at this facility. There's a lot of things that they were showing me that they've been asking for and explaining to me why they need those things and how, you know, whatever it was designed for in the beginning, it's not serving that purpose now. What some of the special considerations are with different populations of people.